Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Everything Paranormal with Mark and Jeff. Sorry, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we are good to go now.
Very good.
I apologize to my guest. So let's bring her right in. Susan Feinblum. Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, we're doing great, Susan.
Sorry, Skype sucks.
Yeah, we had a real issue with Skype tonight. I apologize.
Okay.
We'll actually carry on with this, and then we'll get you back in again, all right? We'll reinvite you so you can have full hour, okay?
All about you, Susan, right now.
Yeah, it really is. So, Susan, tell our listeners about yourself, who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Susan Feinblum, and I've just authored a book called Clairvoyant Psychotherapy. I've been a psychotherapist for, I hate to say this, about 40 years. And over this time, I've been developing clairvoyance and weaving it into the psychotherapy practice. And so what happens, it's an amazing difference, because I find just talking about issues isn't really where the healing and the transformation is. We need to go deeper. And people talk about spirituality, but really we all have spiritual abilities. We have the ability of clairvoyance, telepathy, clairsentience, the ability to feel someone else's energy, to see energy, to hear spirit. These are natural abilities, but they're not talked about, so we don't know we have them. Nobody acknowledges them or validates them as we grow up. So as my client talks about why they came and what their challenge is, I'm watching their spiritual anatomy. I'm watching the chakras, the energy centers that talk about their survival, their emotions, their will, and higher abilities as well. I'm watching where energy is static, where energy doesn't move. I'm watching where energy moves beautifully, where their brilliance is. So I watch where their attention is and where their focus is, and the general energy flowing through their body. And so as we talk about the challenges, what lights up in their aura, in their energy field, are the roots to what they're talking about. Most of our current challenges sit on top of earlier roots. And so I help them connect the dots. I bring their attention back to these earlier wounds, and I can psychically watch where their attention goes. And as we see the same thing, as they see the earlier wounds, as those wounds come out of their energy field almost like pictures at the age that the different events were, they make a recognition and a transformation. It's very powerful to have a spiritual spirit-to-spirit hello as opposed to a hello just to the body. Are you there?
All that in, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we hear you now.
Great. Was I cut off, or did you hear that?
No, we heard everything, actually.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, we had, it's like a Campbell soup can set up the way with the whole.
We're here, though. We are here. We overcome.
Very good. So basically, I take people into a meditation practice. I'm very involved with meditation, and there's so many kinds. People are attracted to different kinds of meditation, but no matter what you do, it's a process of going inward, and it takes going inward to know yourself and to uncover all the rules and imprints that say what you were supposed to be or what you should be, uncover who you actually are.
Releasing all those false beliefs.
All of those false beliefs. Those false beliefs are so powerful. We put the boundary of our life, and we don't go outside them. It's very brave of someone to go outside them. And generally, we're not that rewarded for doing that by those that want any kind of control over our consciousness, what we do and who we are. So we have to be pioneers to go outside it and go, wow, something else is true. Something else is true here.
Yeah, once you look at those beliefs and you realize the ones that aren't yours by your vibrations that you're putting out, you know, I mean, if you're putting out a bad vibration, but it's that belief that you have that is holding you there, and that belief to you is real because you're supporting it.
Yes. I mean, there's much spiritual literature that says our beliefs actually create all the events in our lives, that our beliefs are incredibly powerful. We really don't see outside them. I've noticed I teach clairvoyant classes, and in those classes, I'll find some people say, I'll say, well, we just, covered this, and someone will say, I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of that. When you start to talk outside of someone's belief, they literally don't hear. Literally don't hear. So it's a process of opening that door to simply see what is as opposed to what you expect to see. The thinking mind is the tightest boundary we have.
Yeah, so basically, I've been doing some work too on like how the mind works and everything, and it's basically how all thoughts are neutral, and it's the beliefs that we put into that thought that make it our reality. That's
right. And neutrality, just jumping into the chakras for a moment, the sixth chakra, which a lot of people call the third eye, houses not only the ability to simply see, but it also houses the ability of neutrality. So when you're neutral, you can simply see. But if you have agenda and expectation, you only see what you expect to see. So it's a brilliant ability to learn to occupy and enter that sixth chakra. That's the clairvoyant center. Very powerful as far as challenging your own belief system.
Yeah, basically, you need to watch, I keep telling Mark this, if you can watch your thoughts for 7 days and not let your mind just go on replay of the past or what's going to happen in the future, if you can watch your thoughts for 7 days, you'll change your life, because that will be enough.
Absolutely. Those are some of the deepest meditations where you sit and watch your thoughts. They're profound.
So, as your mind starts to rattle on about all this stuff that happened in different ways that could have happened, you can't change your past. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. All you have is now. So the thoughts you're creating now are creating your reality for what's coming.
Live for the now, right?
Yeah, it's true when you think about it. There's nothing more. And then, it's if you get mad at yourself and you and you look down on yourself, who's the one person that you've had the most dinners with, you've slept the most with, you've spent the most time with, you've talked the most to? It's yourself. So you better
Absolutely. The thing about tight boundaries and low self-images, when you put yourself down, is that when you do that over and over and over, that energy starts to build till it's almost like a little machine that starts to feed itself into you even when you want to change. So it's so important to begin to track the kind of thoughts you're feeding yourself. If you keep putting yourself down, that will amplify. It will just amplify enormously until it just gets harder and harder to get out. So we can actually, I heard one day an evangelist talking on the TV, and he was saying, when you think something you don't like about yourself, press that delete button. And I went, right on, brother. Press that delete button. Yeah, cancel it. I've heard cancel from neurolinguistics, or press the delete button, or pop that thought. Take the power out of that thought every time you realize you've put yourself down.
Well, you bring it up. The best thing to do is you bring it up, you look at it, and you say, this isn't my belief of who I'm supposed to be. Beliefs have they have their own strengths that inside of you. They reward you. They say, oh, well, if you go outside of what I'm telling you, what if you find out I'm really true? This beliefs can be...
It can be threatening. They can be threatening.
Right.
They have a fierce level of control, and they don't want to let go. So it takes, for someone to really find out who they are, to simply see what is, to see for themselves, it actually takes a kind of fierce energy. You have to really want it. Or it takes, another way to put that would be a passion. A passion. That's what got me into all this stuff. I thought, this can't be who I am. I'm passionate about finding something else. And I found a place where people were working clairvoyantly, and I just sat next to them for years as they did psychic readings until I could remember that ability, that natural ability that I had that had been so blocked. That passion was so deep. I need to see for myself. I need to find out who I am. And all the things I thought I wasn't were some talents of mine. Talent.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, I mean, a belief could be conscious, it could be subconscious. I mean, you could walk by your parents sitting at the table when you're 6 years old and they're talking about not having enough money, and without you even knowing it, that becomes one of your beliefs.
Really?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's,
Absolutely.
I mean, most beliefs are formed before you're 9 years old.
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of these beliefs, I mean, it's basically, it all comes, because
I'm losing your voice.
If you're having bad vibrations about a belief, that's when you need to look. And, you know, if there's something not going right in your life, I mean, there's the three major areas. There's health, wealth, and relationships. And if something's not going good in your life, you need to stop and look at that and say, why? What is my belief of this? And then once you look at it and you release it, you will feel that, you know, there will be like an echo that will come. And you'll see that same situation again. But it's the outer world. It's how you react in the inner world that is going to show that the universe that you've changed.
Yes, and part of it is when we're very young, especially if our parents are depressed or alcoholic or unhappy, we're so much wanting to heal them in order to have a safe environment. And the way we do that psychically is we open that second chakra, our emotional center just below our navel. We open it up wide to absorb their pain so our household will be safe. And in absorbing it, we absorb all of their beliefs, all of their depression, all of their whatever it is that's going on there. So it takes a realization, especially because our family is so close to us. They're genetically linked to us. We live with them. They're the main source of feedback to us. So it takes some real work to separate, this is their belief. They believe they don't have abundance and they'll always be poor. I don't have to believe that. I can be me and let them be them. Yeah.
That's exactly what you have to do. You have to take each belief as it comes up, look at it, and say, is this my belief or is this somebody else's belief? And your vibration, I mean, like I said, we live in a vibrational world. It's, you know, high vibrations and low vibrations. If you're feeling a low vibration of any belief, you know it's not yours because it's not your true source. Who you're supposed to be.
And part of why I teach that meditation pattern is the first thing I teach is grounding, because most people don't know how to release anything. We think if I've been this way, I'm always this way. If I have bad relationships, I always have bad relationships. So we need a release valve, and I call that a grounding cord, like a waterfall from the first chakra. And I start to teach just that, releasing and connecting to the earth, connecting to the new energy of the cosmos, of my own information, of my own guidance, so that I can get the internal energy moving so I have the possibility to release these old beliefs and start to find out who I am. Again, it goes back to me, meditation, because health is movement. There's movement. You're growing into new arenas. And sickness is static, whether it's emotional sickness or physical sickness.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, most physical sickness is trapped energy inside of you that has no place to go, so it manifests itself into physical.
So
exactly.
It's
our belief.
Because
our beliefs and our early wounding that is part of those beliefs that actually is in us, conscious or unconscious, and it attracts new life experience to be just like it. So this trapped energy tends to self-perpetuate and grow itself. And so the idea of changing trapped and static energy back to movement is very powerful. It's how you save your life, as far as I can see. It's how you get the chance to be you. That Oscar Wilde quote, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." I love that quote.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah.
I get a few likes on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what you're saying, and I totally agree, is that, energy, our bodies have enough energy in them that, we could light Fenway Park with the energy from our body. And that energy is always flowing through your chakras, through your whole body. So if there's one point in your body that it's stopping and it's just kind of swirling there, that's definitely where sickness comes from, cancer, everything.
Susan knows where Fenway Park is?
Yes. And I know cancer's been talked about as suppressed emotional energy, static emotional energy. When somebody holds an emotion back, you'll see the tension in them. You'll see the abdomen tighten. You'll see the breathing change. And if it gets really stuck, the breathing gets permanently changed till the body is not even sufficiently oxygenated. So many things come from the energy world and then our belief system, and then we manifest them into the physical body. It doesn't start in the physical body.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good.
We are. We're just thrilled. We thought we were another.
Yeah, we thought we messed up with Skype again.
No, we're good.
We're good, though.
We're good to go right now.
Good in the hood.
Yeah.
Good in the hood.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
I'm not a techie, and I had a Skype interview, so I had to have an hour lesson on Skype, how to work it.
Yeah, we had it was working, and then it just, 5 minutes before showtime, it decided not to work anymore.
Yeah.
We just could not reconnect. So honestly, we connected via cell phone right now through the computer, but I hope we sound okay. We're audible,
you
right?
You do, yes. Sometimes you break up a little, but you come right back, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so part of what I look at in a session is I'm looking at the chakras because they are maps of the spiritual anatomy. They're organs of the spiritual anatomy, and they reveal so much information. If somebody is in deep survival and fear, they're not going to access their higher chakras. They're not going to access their higher wisdom, knowing, clairvoyance, their inner truth. They're going to be stuck in survival. So the ability to ground and the ability to look at it, sometimes someone has lots of money, lots of food on the table, lots of clothes and a home, but they're in survival because somebody sent an insult to them, and all of a sudden their whole world is upside down. So we get to really look at, in each chakra, what we're reactive to, because whatever we're reactive to means we're controlled by it. And if we can hear somebody trying to insult us, and we're quite neutral, the person insulting us, that's about them. That's about, for some reason, they need to put us down. It's not about us. So
they mirror. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when we learn to not take things personally, but to simply see. If somebody wants to control me, they might do whatever they want to do to control me. But that's not my problem if I'm neutral to it. And if I experience the upper vibrations, if I'm clear with my clairvoyance and clear seeing, if my wisdom, I'm engaging my wisdom and my higher intelligence, I'm sitting in my truth. And the bottom line is I know myself. If I know myself, then I'm not thrown by their insults. So the journey to know oneself.
Like I was saying earlier, all thoughts are neutral. It's what you put into them that makes them reality.
Exactly. And where they get out of neutral is just if we're reactive, if we're in reactivity to them. And when we're in reactivity, it's a great moment because we have an opportunity to look at that. What happened in me that I am in reactivity to that person? I get to explore a deeper level that I hadn't looked at before. So I actually have an opportunity at that moment. I can either stay in reactivity or I can explore deeper into myself. What's the wound in me that I need to take that personally? It's an opportunity.
Yeah. And then you look at people, too, and who they are and why they've become who they are. It's just basically, you know, I mean, I know this girl that she's like has like plastic surgery and all this other stuff, but her father was kind of like, you know, mutilated and all kinds of stuff, and so, I mean, that was her belief of beauty, that it had to be that way, you know what I mean? So it's everybody has their own story of who they've become and why they've become that. I mean, there's some people that will stay in abusive relationships because that's all they've known, and they're not ready to break free. I mean, like you were talking about the fight or flight that a lot of people are into right now. That's their fight or flight. They're like, I'm more comfortable. This is my comfort zone, being with someone that's abusive instead of trying a new relationship. That's right.
And while that's, and I'm going to use the word addiction, while that person is addicted to that kind of thing, you can't pull them out of it until something in them says, I'm ready. It may be a lot of black and blue marks. It may be whatever it is. But at some point, somebody gets ready, and there's an openness, and, you know, maybe a desperation, but there's an openness. And that's when help is really valuable. That person is vulnerable, and they don't know exactly what to do or where to go, and they're available for help. They're ready to let go. They don't want to take it anymore, and they're in a weakened state, but they're ready. That's a beautiful moment when someone makes that change. It's a big change. It's a big change. I've worked with people who've been hit and abused, and then generally what happens is the abuser cries and is so sorry and they're never going to do it again. You find that the person who's been hit is the one comforting them because they were so weak at that moment, and they forgive them, and then it happens again, but that was just an accident, you know. And then somewhere down the line they get it. This person isn't changing, and I'm out of here. I'm out of here while I still have my life.
Oh, yeah. It's like, and then, like you said, I mean, you can talk to someone like that till they're blue in the face, but until they're ready to change, they're not going to change. They're going to keep repeating that cycle. Like you said, you know, the abuser will say, oh, well, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. And they're like, oh, here's my chance, I can fix them. They finally saw who they are.
Right.
And then the thing will happen again, and they'll say, and then, you know, and they'll just keep redoing that cycle. And, you know, I mean, it's just, we're all
the biggest in relationships is that we change someone. Hey, I'll marry this guy and he'll be different afterward. I'll make him different. Wrong answer. Doesn't happen that way.
Worse.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, he'll be different, all right. He'll be worse.
Yeah.
He'll
resist everything that you're trying to change and fix because people want to be loved for who they are. People want to be loved, not fixed. There are some people who are kind of addicted to getting together with someone they call a project, a healing project. Doesn't work.
No, because
you just want to be loved.
No, there's no way you can change another person. They are who they are. But you know, the sad thing is like I'm going to go back to vibrations again. Your vibration is matching theirs, or you wouldn't be with them. So that's the sad thing. This is something you need to look at in yourself that's mirroring this other person, because you're at the same exact vibrations for you to actually be together.
That's for the relationship that's working out. That's
both. The are good. Your vibrations, whatever your vibrations are, you're going to match the person you're with vibrations. That's why you're together, because your vibrations are the same.
That's what you attracted to yourself to begin with. People have a hard time hearing that. But our energy field, including where we're wounded, where we're static, it speaks. Our spiritual body doesn't fit tight in the physical body. It's beyond it. It's larger than it. And though we don't think we're all psychic, we read that all the time. If somebody's walking down the street and somebody else's eyes are on them, even from behind, people usually turn around to see whose eyes are on me. We feel that. We have a sense beyond our physical body. Our spiritual body is sensate. It has feelings. Somebody walks by your energy field, you feel it, you see it. So we have so many abilities that we don't know we have, so we don't trust our instincts a lot. But it is the emanation of our energy field that attracts to us that which we attract. It's not an accident.
Yeah. Hey, Susan, how do you suggest that one would become more in touch with their sensitive side, or should they go with their gut feeling, or what do you suggest? What would you recommend?
Our bodies are so wise. Our gut feelings are incredibly important. Our body knows the difference between a truth from a lie. In my classes, a lot of times, I'll say a simple lie. Hey, I'm hanging from the ceiling. Even that lie creates a little ripple in the body because the energy field doesn't know how to make sense of it, so it persists and it creates a little tension in the body. If we even played around with the concept of, hey, let me tell myself 3 lies and just feel what your body does. How do you know that a lie happened? Your body will teach you how you know. So then when you're out in the world and you're hearing these lies, you know it. Oh, okay, that's a lie. So that's one very simple psychic exercise. Play with the difference. Truth, on the other hand, it doesn't make a tension, so it doesn't persist. It just moves right through, feels comfortable. It doesn't create any...
It's body movements, too, that can tell you if somebody's lying.
Well, people train that, right?
Yeah. You can tell if their eyes look up to the left, that means they're thinking of something from the past. If they're looking up to the
if it's the right, it's a lie, right?
To the right, they're making something up. If they're looking straight across, they're thinking of something auditory. If they're looking down, they're thinking of something that I forget what it is. I don't have my notes with me on that.
You were going somewhere with that.
Well, I have there's 6 of them.
The other thing is that, like I said, I'm very big on meditation. I have some CDs on Amazon that talk about just grounding, earth and cosmic, CDs where you meditate deeply to start to get to know each of the individual chakras. Getting to know yourself by going inward, however you do it, is the most powerful way to open your sensitivities. If we don't go in somehow, we won't know what's in there. Where our attention goes is what we're learning. And if we choose to put our attention within, we learn a lot. We have enormous amounts of information and energy, enormous amounts of ability that I've been meditating for probably about 30 years, a little bit more than that. And the amount of information that you get, it doesn't stop. It's like there's this growth curve that just keeps going up and up. It's so powerful what you encounter, the abilities that are completely natural. All we have to do is go in to start to explore them. Taking classes wherever there are local classes, it's easiest to start a meditation pattern in a group that's guided to begin with, because everything that wants to control you to stay the way you are, when you sit down at home to meditate, all you'll think of, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
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 Yeah.
That's our wicked
Hello?
weather guy.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hello, Peter.
Peter, say hello to Susan Feinblum. Say hi, Peter. Peter Lavasco, he's our wicked weather guy.
What's up, Jeff?
Hi,
What's up,
Peter.
Mark? Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's up,
happening,
boys?
Peter? Not much. You?
How's it going on the Beverly front tonight?
Oh, it's going good. We had a little battle with Skype, but we're diving it all up, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, it's been another nightmare. Sometimes we have to talk to you and straighten this thing out.
Well, finally, you guys got me.
All right.
What's that?
We're doing all right. You can hear us, right?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. breaking up
good.
a little bit. A little echo, but once you get used
We're on
to
a
the Skype
cell
thing.
phone.
Oh, are you on a cell phone?
Yeah. It's a little rough tonight. All right.
Yeah.
We get rid of the. So let's Susan. Anyway, Susan was in mid-sentence. We were talking to Susan Feinblum, who's actually she's very good, very interesting guest, Peter, and she's a clairvoyant psychotherapist.
Oh, very cool. I don't know what that is.
You should talk to her.
You guys are crazy. Are you on your third blue moon already?
Yeah.
So, Susan, tell people how they can follow you, how they can find your work and get in touch with you and all that good stuff.
My website is www.susanfeinblum, FEINBLOOM.com. And I have a class starting in New York in January, a program. And I teach clairvoyance wherever there's a group of people that want to explore that. I travel to teach. And I do sessions both by telephone, long distance, and in person. So that's a way to find me. On Amazon, I have my book, Clairvoyant Psychotherapy, and my meditation CDs. Those are the ways to find me. On my website is my phone contact and my email contact. That's how to find me.
Are you on Facebook?
I'm getting on. I'm so non-techie, but I have someone coming to teach me all about Facebook next week, so I will be on Facebook, yes, in another week.
All right, you're going to have to hook up.
Yeah.
Friend us, Mark Legere, Jeff Legere, Legere, and we'll get you a lot of likes. We'll get you right out there.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of likes.
Hey.
I mean, I figured it out. I'm like a 10-pound waterhead, so I can do it. So you can do it, too.
Hey.
We haven't figured out Skype yet, but we're getting it.
Skype.
Oh, we've been
Skype's a fickle bitch.
Susan Feinblum, thank you so much for being on Everything Paranormal. We owe you some more time. We're going to get you another booking soon, okay?
We'll get you a full hour.
Just touch with me. I'll be happy to come on again. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye, Susan.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Susan
you.
Fine, ladies and gentlemen. She's been a great guest.
Yes.
Clairvoyant psychotherapist. Check her out. And you can also listen to her again on our podcast, which is on DTMWickedRadio.com, Saturday night, 8 to 9. No, what are we on now? 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we're right on after the Wicked Weatherman. Is that right, Pete?
That's
Weather.
right. Right after Wicked Weather, guys.
Good.
You guys want a quick weather update?
Of course we do.
We don't give a shit about the weather right now.
You always give us sucky weather. Today was 80.
Today was beautiful.
Now tomorrow will be 30 and cold.
As soon as he comes on, it's going to start rain or something. Last time it was a tornado.
I just scroll up in a position every time you give us a weather position.
All right, here it is, boys.
Hey,
what's that?
Pete, you go ahead. Less echo now, right? There's not so much echo now. Did you lose it?
No, it's much better now, guys. Tonight we're gonna be humid tonight. Temperatures gonna be dropping down in the mid 60s, so it's gonna be a muggy, warm night tonight. Actually, for mid-October, this is summer standards, guys. So you want to have the windows open, let that fresh air come in, and then for your hump day, Wednesday, 75 to 80 degrees. Dew points will be in the 60s. Sun and clouds, increasing clouds late in the day. Could be a few morning drizzle patches or fog patches due to the humidity. Winds will be south-southwest, 10 to 15. Could gust to 20 late in the afternoon. Then as we go into Saturday night, we might not even drop below 66, 68 degrees. It'll be a very muggy night. Thursday, we got rain moving in, primarily western New England early, mid-afternoon across central. And but we are here in Eastern Mass, guys. We could see some heavy-duty thunderstorms here after 5 or 6 o'clock Thursday evening, and temperatures will be in the 60s.
So Thursday's not going to rain?
Thursday morning, no. Thursday afternoon, evening, yes.
All right. So tomorrow,
it's going to blow.
Speedo.
Yeah, I had my Speedo on today.
Oh, my goodness.
How many days left of Speedo weather?
I wanted to go to the beach today. Today.
Today was a beach day. I was sweating my ass off.
Oh, I got to tell you
guys.
It was
nice out. Unseasonable.
The Haunted Victorian Mansion was a blast this past Sunday.
Oh, how was that? We were jealous.
I'm going there next week with Joni. I got to gonna do some.
Just gonna go do some ghost.
No. We're not supposed to talk about what
sorry. No more tours here, folks. Sorry.
That's it.
Well, things are all done, right?
It was awesome, guys. They're starting to redo the place. They're painting inside the interior. Got a special pass, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And I actually signed about 50, 60 books. People coming up and asking for my autograph and signature. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I got to talk with a bunch of.
Big time Pete.
Did you see my picture on Facebook?
Yeah. Celebrity.
Your date must be all starry-eyed that went with you.
Yeah, how'd the date go? First date, let's go to the Haunted Victorian Mansion.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Like, I know people there.
Yeah, right. She's like, I was getting interviewed upstairs in one of the rooms. And she loved it. She had a great time. She actually dressed in Victorian as well. What was that?
Pete, thank you. You're a celebrity.
All right. Wicked weather guy, Pete Lavasco. Thanks for calling in, Pete. We're going to talk to you next week. Probably going to have you back real soon to guest host with us. How do you feel about that, all right?
I'd love to be there again. That was a blast.
Yeah. Drive right down 128. It's no big deal. You can do it.
Yeah, right down the road.
I'll be there next Tuesday if you want me there.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
And you know
Tuesday.
what?
All right.
We got to investigate in the tunnel as well.
Yeah, the tunnel's not turning out to be as exciting as I thought it was going to be, but we can still check it out. If you come early, I'll show you it.
I'll bring my weather blast and we'll blast our way in.
Nice. Oh boy, come early. I'll show you where it is.
Do you travel in a weather balloon? All right. Here's Lavasco. Thank you very much, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys.
Thanks,
see you later.
Pete.
All right.
All right. See ya.
All right, this is Pete, our Wicked Weather Guy. He is on DTMWickedRadio.com Saturday nights live. Is it from 8 to 9? Yeah, he's 8 to 9. We're like in the good slide. He's right before us. 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, our next guest is a hostile haunting specialist. Welcome to Everything Paranormal, Laurie Champion. Laurie.
Hi.
Hi, Laurie.
Oh, hey.
Laurie.
How are you?
Hi, Laurie. Welcome to the show.
What's happening?
I didn't realize. I was like, oh, they're talking to me. Okay.
We moved things right along.
So how is it going?
We give you a good introduction. We're doing wonderful. How are you tonight? I'm glad we can get you on. We had
I've had a very interesting week and a very interesting day. I didn't even know if I was going to be here tonight because we lost our power. Luckily, it came back on.
Where do you live?
We had a thunderstorm.
Where do you live?
In Holiday, Florida.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, and I mean it was bad.
Holiday?
Oh my.
Is Holiday near Christmas, Florida?
No.
What? Look, it's a real place.
I know it is, but we're nowhere near there. The closest place, we're near Tarpon Springs.
Oh, okay. Boy, I wish I was. Well, today was nice, though. Today was very nice.
Yeah.
It's been hot down here.
For the nice 40-degree weather.
No, Chris, no.
I am. Because it's like today. I don't know. It's summer's over. I'm done with summer. I'm ready for fall.
I love it.
Me too, and it won't end.
Laurie, tell our listeners about yourself, who you are and what you do, what you're all about.
My name is Laurie Champion, and I have been a haunts resolutionist for 36 years. I actually did it longer than that because I'm not counting my Jersey time. I'm counting just Florida. But I help people with hauntings. I'm not a ghost hunter. You'll never see me at a hospital or an asylum or anything like that. I don't believe in that. I frown upon it. I don't go looking for ghosts. I help haunted people. People that have real hauntings.
Well, wait, hold on. Well, we're paranormal investigators. We're not really ghost hunters, but
we help people too.
Yeah.
We help people. That's what you're saying. You go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, you see, there's a paranormal investigator, but there's so many people that their paranormal investigating is limited to going to an asylum, a tuberculosis hospital, a jail. You know, well, let's go and make these spirits relive all the hell they went through. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we agree.
We do mostly private stuff.
Yeah.
So do I. I've done. We've done some really interesting stuff. I've done work with lawyers. I've talked to murder victims. I've talked to missing people that are actually passed on. We've done a lot of very interesting work on many levels. We don't do just the haunted house, you know.
Right, yeah.
The haunted lawyer's office.
We might do a haunted house to go, to train somebody new,
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that we meet there and we have a good time with them,
Oh, of course. Well, if that's a given. That's a given. No, I mean, we take a lot of residential cases. That's what I mean by haunted house. People's homes that are haunted.
Yeah.
You know. And we've done work with lawyers, with private investigators, private families that are trying to find out what happened to their missing relatives. And we've talked to quite a few of them that are no longer missing, and they're deceased. We've gotten a lot of information, and we do a lot of good work. We're so lucky. This is going to blow your mind. We actually have a Florida psychologist that is writing papers. We have a psychologist here in Florida. She has been working on this thing. She's writing up all this paperwork to submit to the mental health board or whoever is in charge of psychology to introduce the need for paranormal trauma treatment. She actually believes in it. She knows it's real. She went through it herself. And now I have somebody, like if I have clients that have children that have traumatized from a haunting, I have someone who can help them, someone who believes them.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. That's a big milestone for the paranormal.
Well,
you have a psychologist?
A parapsychologist. We worked, I did probably only 2 demonic cases in my 10 years of doing this. And
what was the second one?
She was a paranormal,
I know the first one.
No, this is a real mental, she's just a clinical psychologist. But she's treating the people who suffer from paranormal trauma.
Yeah.
Most of the mental health field, they won't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, no. Yeah, they don't admit to it. They don't.
They won't. But she's trying to change that.
That's good for her. That's good.
And when she contacted me, she wanted information because she was writing up the thing. And I was like, "Are you serious?" She says, "Yeah." I was thrilled. I said, "I'll do whatever I can to help you."
Yeah, definitely.
I've got two of you guys there talking to me, okay? And I don't know who's who.
You have 2 what?
Us 2?
There's 2 of you there talking to me.
Yeah, I'm Mark.
And I don't know who is who. I don't know the voices, so I don't know who's who.
We sound a little bit the same, huh? I'm Mark.
I'm Jeff.
No, talking to you, Jeff. He has the bad Boston accent. I don't.
Okay, that's the Boston accent is Jeff.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand the Boston accent.
You do? Okay. Good.
Yeah, I got a man on my team named Boston. We call him Boston George. He speaks Boston.
He's from around here, obviously. Where's he from? Boston?
He's from Boston.
Oh,
he's in Florida now, but he's originally from Boston. And you can tell as soon as he opens his mouth.
Oh, yeah. I get that all the time.
Yeah.
We're from Salem, Massachusetts, which is about 18 miles north. the Witch City, Halloween capital of the world. Woo-hoo!
That's
Salem,
right.
Mass. Yeah.
That's right. It's one place I have never been. I always wanted to see it, but I've never been there.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I heard that it's beautiful.
Yeah, take Route 95.
I heard that Massachusetts is gorgeous.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's expensive, but it's nice. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, today was warm. It was 68 degrees.
Well, you know what?
Well, see, that's what I like. I don't like the cold. That's why I left New Jersey. I cannot handle the cold.
Yeah,
and
I don't like
that's why I went to Florida, where it's warm.
Yeah, I'm right behind.
And I like the South.
Good.
I really do. I like the hospitality. I like the weather. You know.
Yeah.
I like
Much
the
nicer.
more rural area. I don't like the city.
Yeah, more snow, more bikinis. It's great down there. More snow. I mean,
we don't have any snow at all.
Yeah.
We have no snow.
No snow. That's what I mean. So,
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I have a funny story for you.
What's that?
I think you're going to get a charge out of this. I know I did. Remember I told you I had an interesting week?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I worked a case this week, and you're going to get a charge out of this. You know, sometimes you do an investigation, and what we do is we listen to a lot of our EVPs as we go along to keep the party going, to keep the conversation going. And then
Absolutely.
we always have more. We always have more that we have to go through at home, right? Now, this is hysterical because we got this right there at the investigation. We were at this nice couple's house because they were haunted. Yeah. They heard people talking. You know, they'd seen things. And I don't know, I have a sense for these things, and I knew before I even got there that it was going to be all relative related, you know? I wasn't the least bit worried. Well, listen to this. This is hysterical. We get there, and as soon as I arrive, I sense that there's a woman there, an older woman, very, very domineering. So I don't say anything because I don't go on anybody's ability, not even my own. I want the EVP to back it up. So we start talking to this lady, and she's talking to the EVP, and I'm happy now. I know that I'm not hallucinating her. And we find out who she is, and everything's going well. And I look across the room, and in the hallway, I see this little man. He looks Chinese, like Oriental.
Yeah.
Now, the tape recorders are running. I say to this couple, now this couple is not in any way Oriental. They're Irishmen, okay? I said to them, this is going to sound crazy, but do you know anybody? I see a man in the hallway. He's Chinese or some kind of Oriental. And we have the tape recorder running. And they both look at each other, I guess, you know, just in a moment to say, uh-oh, because they know who that is. But he speaks. And when we play it back a few minutes later, this is what we hear. You hear me say, Chinese or some kind of Oriental, and he yells, Asian!
Oh, wow.
So, see, I was politically incorrect. You're not supposed to say Oriental anymore. You're supposed to say Asian.
It's right, Asian.
And he corrected me. He actually corrected me, and the way he said it was like, Asian. I mean, you could tell he was mad that I called him Oriental.
Mad,
I just thought you would get the biggest charge out of that. And when we played it back, he was so loud when we played it back that everybody could hear it coming over the computer. And it turns out this man, this young man, the person whose house we were at, the client, he is a soldier. He's ex-military. He spent a long time in the military. His best friend in the military was a Chinese guy, an American Chinese man. And this man that was at his house is that man's father. They were very, very close. Okay. Yeah. And I guess, you know, maybe he heard through the grapevine, or he came by and said, oh, look, they're talking to us. I have to go over there and talk to them too, you know. And he did, but it was so funny when he corrected me. You know, I guess, you know, people, they take their feelings and things well into the next life. You know, I guess they take their political ideas too. Their pet peeves.
Amazing.
All of your lives combined, it makes you who you are.
You know what I find interesting? Just in a nutshell, because this hour is about you, but I do living in downtown in Salem, Massachusetts, I do ghost hunting tours, but I do the real stuff where I take it up. I know ghost hunting, but that's really just it tells, but that's not what we do.
What's your website, Mark?
It does. My website doesn't matter right now. Which city goes on. But I find that sometimes spirit learn the more modern day lingo too.
Oh, you are you are so right. This is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound a little weird, but I happen to know two spirits in my town where I live that actually reside in my neighborhood. And I've talked to them quite a few times, and these are spirits that have been gone for a long time. They've been gone for years and years and years and years. And they have actually picked up things that we say nowadays that they did not say back then. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
This is what I tell people. They don't understand. People always ask me, well, how do you know if a place is haunted? Well, spirits don't really haunt people most of the time. Anywhere people have ever lived and died, there are spirits. They're everywhere. They're all around us all the time. People have this idea that if somebody passes away, they're gone forever. How many times you hear somebody say, oh, I wished Aunt Helen had lived to see the baby. Well, guess what? She did. She can come and see the baby whenever she wants. But people don't realize that.
That's right. They're not in physical form. They're still around.
And I'm sure you two have been doing this long enough that this is not news to you. You know this. But a lot of people don't.
Yeah,
and this gal this week when we were at her house, she was in shock because they were given names, well, Jeannie's here, Patty's here, this one, that one. She was like, oh, my God, I know who all these people are. Well, of course, they're your relatives. You should know who they are.
That's right.
And do you know why they were there? You know why they were all there? Because this woman is not in good health, and she's had a mysterious pain in her leg that she's been ignoring. And they're telling her, there were EVPs where they said, why do you have that pain? You need to go to the doctor. That's not what you think. That's serious. You need to go now. They're insinuating that whatever's going on there in her leg could be something like a blood clot or something that could be life-threatening.
Right.
They want her to go to the doctor. So I always tell people, if spirit reaches out to you, there's always a reason.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, some spirits give you bad advice because they
Oh, tell me about it.
When you go
believe me.
A lot of people think that, when you die and you go to the afterlife, all of a sudden you become this spiritual being.
You become a sage, right. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
My mother still nags me from the afterlife.
Oh, yeah.
Great. That's something to look forward to.
And it's still the same.
They don't change.
Telling you. It was the same thing she was telling you, when she was here, and it's like, all right, they don't make sense.
No, actually, at times, sometimes she's worse now.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? You know how you see all this stuff on Facebook and stuff where it says, that thing that tells you not to say that I don't have one of those? Like the older you get, the more you will say because you don't care anymore. Like there's things you wouldn't say at 20 that you'll spit out at 50,
Yeah.
I think that goes even further, that once you've passed away, there's no limit. Like, well, what have I got to lose? I'm dead. I'm going to tell her what I think, And they will.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's scary. Yeah.
They will. They'll tell you.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's funny to me. I've every time I take all these haunt cases that people think are so scary, 80% of the time it's a relative. I have listened to more relatives chew out their living relatives. I always tell everybody, no matter what you do, don't piss off Grandma. I have talked to more dead grandmothers than anyone else. And they'll tell you the way it is.
Yeah. Do you use mostly audio or EVPs or?
Yes. I never use a ghost box. I don't believe in the whole radio thing. There's too much act for random transmission and too much bleed through, too much static, too much noise. I use recorders, regular digital recorders.
Yeah.
And I use whatever it is that I have that allows them to, for some reason when I'm there, they'll get a lot more EVPs when I'm not there. I've never been able to figure out what it is. Whatever it is about me, they seem to be able to talk louder. They seem to be able to connect. And I don't understand it. You know, I didn't even realize it myself until a few years ago.
How long
I just thought they talked to everyone like that.
No.
You know.
How long have you been doing this?
In Florida, 36 years. But I've had whatever. I've been doing EVP since 1974. I'm an old broad.
Yeah. You know, the longer you do it, the more they tend to communicate with you and feel comfortable with you.
Exactly.
They know you're coming.
But I beg to differ with the Ghost Box. That's one of my new favorite tools.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
especially during a live investigation where we want immediate, answers, so we can, we do burst sessions, real quick sessions. We do EVPs too. But Ghost Box, for example.
Well, see,
we were trying to
the
establish,
big issue. The big issue I have with the Ghost Box.
Yeah.
You try to establish what?
We were trying to establish an intelligent.
Over at the man.
Intelligent, yeah.
Yeah, but see, I do the same thing because I don't record for an hour and then play it back.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like 10-minute one.
No, not even 10
I hook it up to my computer and we go back and forth.
Yeah.
But I don't like the Ghost Box because, number one, there's too much noise. Everybody thinks that noise helps EVPs. It doesn't. It just ruins them.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize the way spirits create EVP. They actually do it almost like a radio signal. What they do is they take a sound wave that exists and they write it, and they create what you call constructive interference.
Yeah, electronic voice phenomena is just a whisper, though. That's the thing with
It's not. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No. See, this is the problem. Okay, most of the people that are working EVP now, they started working it back in 2006. They really don't. They're so into their pictures and their full spectrum cameras and all this other stuff that they never focused on the EVP. If you learn how to clean the EVP, there is nothing better. There is nothing better. And they're not always going to be a whisper. Most people miss about 70% of all the EVPs they get because they don't recognize it, because they don't understand how the spirits ride the sound waves and how they create it. And there's certain sound waves that destroy EVPs, like white noise. People are running white noise generators. You're wrecking your EVPs. They can't do it. And then when you have the Ghost Box, you have so much static, you can't even understand what's being said. You're playing a guessing game. I'm not happy with that. No, I want to know for sure.
Let me just say my thing. I was an electronic technician for years. I'm a real techie. I'm very good at EVPs where I can slow them down. I put them on wave pad. I speed them up when they need to be. I cut out noise. But I find that I can, during a real investigation where we're trying to help a family or a business owner with the Ghost Box, I think we get quicker responses because my ear is trained, where you have the white noise and then you have voices just under the white noise. Sometimes the more dominant voices are with the white noise, and sometimes you have higher frequencies. But I am learning, I understand what you're saying about radio broadcasts, but when I get one that says, I'm just last week, can you identify yourself, please? The devil. Clear as everyone, the devil. I don't think they broadcast or one time
do you believe it really was the devil or somebody being facetious?
No, I think it was some spirit that was trying to some wise ass spirit.
Yeah, because I found over the years, even in a truly hostile haunting, which is not as common as people think, but they're out there. There are mean people out there, and the dead people too that are mean. Yeah. They'll try everything because they know what you're afraid of. They're going to tell you, I'm a demon. They're going to growl because they know that people fall for that.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. You're right.
I laugh because so many people will call me up and they'll say, I have a demon in my house. And I'll be like, well, how do you know? because it's growling.
Yeah.
You know, and then we'll get over there.
Right.
Sometimes it's the refrigerator and defrost.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing we look for.
But sometimes it's just a spirit who's trying to be scary.
Yeah, it's just messy. They're just not nice people in life.
They got a lot of time on their hands.
But on that ghost box once, right?
They do that, a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah, so they may as well have fun.
No, they just messy. That's like the poltergeist. You have the 4 types of hauntings, like I try to explain to people. You have intelligent, you have residual, you've got your poltergeist, you've got demonic.
What? I have a question for you. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why do you classify a poltergeist as some special kind of spirit when any spirit, anyone, even good old grandma, can move objects and make noise and close doors?
No, that's what I was just saying, and then you talked when I was trying to finish that. Is some of them gear towards in between the poltergeist and demonic? They're more negative. They're just negative. They're just teasing you. They're trying to scare you. They're trying to get your attention. So that's
sometimes. But you said a mouthful there. They're trying to get your attention. I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Most of the time, and I've been working cases for so long, and I've seen so many people that when they told me what was happening, I thought to myself, oh my God, what the hell is they got over there? Right. I had a case, and this is very, very near and dear to my heart. This is why I enjoy my work. It was the scariest case I've ever had, and when I tell you why, you're going to know exactly how I feel. I was there, and it was a grandmother. She had her grandchildren living with her. She had custody of them because the daughter had issues, okay? Well, Grandma had been married. Grandpa died. She had been married again because these kids had step-grandpa, okay?
Yeah.
Well, this guy had everybody after him. He even had an animal elemental spirit after him. When you're a person who hunts for sport and for trophy, and you kill everything in sight and hang it on the wall, eventually you kill the wrong animal and you piss off the wrong elemental, and it comes for you. And that's one of the things that happened. But you have to realize why he had it coming. Every relative and his own dead best friend was at that house. They were pulling him off the sofa, pushing him down the stairs. You wouldn't believe the stuff that went on. Turned out that he was doing something very, very bad to his grandchildren. And one of the ghosts there was the other grandma, the one on the other side. And she told us straight up exactly what he was doing. Okay?
Oh, wow, yeah.
And if we had never gone there, he'd still be at it. Luckily, the woman heard it come over the computer. She heard it. She knew I wasn't making it up. And she knew exactly, and she said, oh, my God, is she saying what I'm hearing, And she started talking to the kids, and sure enough,
Yeah.
she found out. And, that I'll never forget that for as long as I live. It was down in Clearwater, Florida. And, those ghosts saved those kids from a lifetime of abuse. But you know what? The way the ghosts were acting out, they scared the crap out of everybody in the house. And sometimes that's what it takes. Because they're like, okay, if we don't create enough fuss, they're not going to bring somebody in here who could talk to us.
Yeah.
You would think that there were 10 demons from hell in that house. So it's not always what it seems to be.
No. Have you ever dealt with anything demonic?
I'm going to be quite honest with you. I've seen a lot of angry spirits. I have never seen a demon. I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in demonic possession. I think that the people that believe in demons are the ones that find them.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's more of a religious, I look at it as more of a religious connotation than anything else. I'm Native American and Jewish, so we don't have the whole demon thing going on. And I think that regular spirits, human spirits, who are very smart and very aggressive, are creating so many scenarios that people take and assume are demons. They're getting so much credit for stuff they haven't even done.
Yeah.
I listen to people and I hear people. I heard a man on the radio, a demonologist. This was a few years ago. I just about fell off my chair. he actually made a statement on the radio, and this is somebody who's famous. He's been on TV, and he said, anything that you see that's black, if it's a black shadow, it's a black form, it's a demon. It's demonic. That was the most irresponsible thing I've ever heard in my life, because any spirit, I don't care who it is, it could be your mother who loves you to death, at some stage of manifestation is going to appear as a black shadow. So now everybody who's ever seen a black shadow thinks they have a demon in their house?
Yeah, no. It's not even necessarily negative, you know.
No, it isn't. But this is what he told people. And you know how many people believe this man? Because they saw him on TV?
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
See, the problem, I think is the people with the loudest voice in this field are not the people with the actual knowledge. They're the people who are the actors on TV.
I was just going to say that. Because of TV, I think more people... I know there's one show in particular, I won't name it because I know people love it, but, you know, he's like... He runs into demons almost every episode.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I don't... But you see, this is the problem. Who am I talking to? Is this Jeff or Mark?
This is Mark.
Mark, this is the problem, okay?
Yeah.
People who have the actual experience and the actual knowledge are not going to go on TV and make a circus out of it. Number one.
Right.
Okay. Number two, most of those people who have been in this field for that amount of time, they're older people like you and me. They're not some young guy with, a slate of board of ab muscles and spiked hair and all this that are going to pull in the ratings. Okay? People don't want knowledge. They want that. You know? They want Joe Muscle Beach there, who's going to scream and yell and run around and freak out and take possession on the air. You know? That's what entertains them. Okay? They don't want to see, Mr. So-and-so that's done this for 35, 40 years, who actually might be able to tell you something about it.
Right, a lot of experience. Yeah, you're right.
Did you ever look at the casting calls for these shows?
Yeah,
they put casting calls for every one of them.
Yeah,
and they write to every paranormal team in the world. I know, I get the emails all day long, and I turn them down all day long. You know?
Yeah. See, that's what's good about us, though, is I'm the guy with the abs and Mark's the old guy. No hair. Oh, man.
So we fit in good.
But we always laugh about that on the TV shows. They'll be like, they scream, and then they come back after the commercial, and it's a spider or something. Is that Mary?
And then they have, what's funny, too? On so many of the paranormal TV shows, the paranormal teams who have been around since yesterday, they want to be on television. That's their whole goal. So they will jump at the chance to go on these shows, where the more experienced people, the real veterans in the field, they steer away from the show. They know it's a circus. They're like, I'm not going to discredit myself by being associated with that. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we left the big
And I know, because I know a lot of those people. So what happens is the teams that are on there that everybody thinks are experts are ghost hunters who've been around for 4 years. They wouldn't know what to do with a ghost if they actually found one. But they're on there telling people, that orb is a ghost, and that's a ghost, and this is a ghost, and, it's a demon. Okay.
Yeah,
it's got a curse word. It's a demon.
Yeah.
Because only demons can curse.
Everything's a demon.
We left a big
Well,
group
that they curse, of course,
Yeah.
So if it says a curse word, it's a demon. They never met my mother.
Yeah, my father, you're right. Come on, I can just... Donkey wasn't nice, but no, I think they're more negative, or they're like, beating their chest, like, they're trying to be, I don't know, maybe in real life they're But, they're just trying to scare you, Then one case I had recently where this one girl, she was more sensitive, and she was seeing things, and she was seeing pleasant thoughts, dreaming things, whereas her boyfriend was seeing these shadow figures, and they were kind of scaring him. What I was thinking, my first gut feeling was this spirit was trying to communicate with her more, because this because she can understand and communicate better.
She was sensitive.
Right.
And he was kind of hurt, and they were just trying to get him, like, get away. But he wasn't, they were not demonic or negative. I think they were just bullying him a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it could be, too? I think maybe the spirits, maybe he was a little cocky, maybe they didn't like that, or they sensed his fear.
Yeah.
And, everybody perceives things through the eyes of their belief system and their own fears. The person who is afraid of clowns is going to see a horrible clown in their nightmare. A person like me who's afraid of sharks is going to see sharks in her nightmares. And the same thing goes with the paranormal. If it's something they're afraid of, they're going to see something scary.
Yep.
She's kind of a...
Psycho.
What did he say?
I'm talking about my ex-wife. Yeah, ex-wife. You. I said I'm afraid of my ex-wife.
Well, see, there you go.
All above. She's a shark. She's a clown.
Yeah, all of the above. Yeah. My goodness.
Everything rolled into one.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm sorry. I'm over it. I really am.
I'm afraid of her now, too.
You two kill me.
What's your scariest case that you've been around?
You have, what's your most negative, tell us your scariest case. Like
my scariest case, besides that one that I just told you, but you know why that was so scary? Not because of what was going on there, but because of the position it put me in. Nobody wants to be in that position, right? Because, people shoot the messenger.
That's right.
So that was, to me, that was the scariest, because I'm not afraid of dead people. I'm afraid of the living people, okay? The living people that scare me. But I had a case, I had another case also in Clearwater, where I think I met a murderer. I had a spirit who's related to this man on the tape recorder. Thank God I had my headphones on. I wasn't playing it out loud. Thank God. And this relative was saying, he killed me. He murdered me. And I'm haunting him. And you need to help me. And he all the EVPs, by the time the night was over, we knew how he killed him. We knew everything. So anyway, I said to this person at the end of the night, I said, do you have anybody that passed away recently, blah, blah, blah? Because I was pretending like I was confused, okay? I already knew who it was because he told me. And he said, well, yes, and he mentioned this relative that died. And I said, how did he die? He says, well, he was murdered. He was murdered. And they really don't know who did it. And I'm thinking, oh, shit. I do. I got to get out of here, Because if he is a murderer, I don't want him to know that I know that he's a murderer. You know what I mean? I'll be next. That really upset me. But again, it wasn't the ghost. It was the living. It was the living that scared me.
That's right.
I'll tell you something. I think maybe the reason, I don't have a lot of fear, and I think the reason I got into this whole deal, when I lived in New Jersey as a little girl, my mother and my grandmother, after my grandpa died, they bought a house together in Union City, New Jersey. And it was one of those amazingly good deals, okay? And you know the old saying, if it's too good to be true, it is. Well, there was a spirit in that house. Yeah. There was a ghost in that house, and she was unbelievable. If there was anything close to a demon, it was her. But she wasn't a demon. She was an old ghost, been around for a long time. She died at a very young age. She came from Italy originally. She was a very pissed off Italian lady. Okay?
Okay.
Bitter and miserable. And she sent me to the emergency room 4 times. 4 physical attacks, 4 times.
Wow.
I was 8 years old when we moved there. And what happened was my mother was not a well woman. She had cancer. She had to have surgery, and she was recuperating and all that.
Right.
My mother and I lived upstairs. This was a 2-family house with a full basement, okay?
Yep.
My grandmother lived on the first floor. Now, in the winter in New Jersey, you can't hang your clothes on the line because they freeze solid. You know that because you come from Massachusetts. So we used to hang them on a line in the basement because we didn't have a dryer back in those days.
Right.
Now my mother couldn't do 2 flights of stairs. My grandmother was old. She couldn't even do one very well. So I was stuck with this laundry detail. Okay? I had to go down the basement, hang the clothes, and then take them down. You know the deal. And I went down the basement one day. We had been living there maybe 3 weeks. And I saw this lady in the back of the basement. And she was one of the scariest looking people I've ever seen. Maybe it's because I'd never seen a ghost before that day. A real, full-blown apparition that looked like flesh. She didn't look like a shadow. She looked real. It looked like a real flesh and blood woman. Her skin was a little gray, but other than that, she looked pretty real. But I knew in my heart that she wasn't real because she wasn't moving normally. She was like, I can't explain it because she'd like here 1 minute and then zip, she'd be over there. You know what I mean? She wasn't like walking like normal people. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? I got scared to death. I run upstairs. I tell my grandmother there's a lady in the basement. My grandmother says, honey, there's nobody in there. I said, I'm telling you, there's a lady in the basement. So she comes down the stairs, which takes her, about 5 minutes for her to get down the stairs. And she's really mad because there's nobody in the basement now. She goes back upstairs, and she says to me, listen, it's a new house. It's dark down there. You're afraid. You hallucinated. Go get the clothes. It'll be okay.
Right.
So I go down, and there's sheets on the line. I start taking the sheet down, and all of a sudden, the sheet comes off the line by itself, wraps around me like a taco.
Yeah.
And somebody literally picked me up and then let me go and dropped me on the floor. I smashed my elbow. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. My grandmother came down the stairs again. I was fighting my way out of the sheet. And she's like, what are you doing? What am I doing? What does it look like I'm doing? I didn't do this to myself.
That scare you?
That's how it's. Oh, hell yeah.
Scary.
Hell yeah. That was my scariest moment ever.
Yeah.
Ever. That woman.
But
by the time what was that?
I don't know. Skype.
What was that?
Skype, I think. I don't know.
Is someone passing gas there? What was that?
Mark's got Ebola.
I don't know. What? No, Ebola. No, nobody's.
How do you say that? Ebola.
No, somebody called.
Don't say that.
That was one of our listeners that had a sound effect, and I don't know what that was all about. But I shut him off. I'm sorry. He's gone. I kicked him off.
It sounded like, I didn't even say what that sounded like, but anyway.
Yeah,
that was very strange.
That noise.
Yeah.
So you must have looked forward to laundry day, huh?
Yeah.
No, but it didn't end. It didn't end there. Anytime I would go down there, it was one thing after the other, after the other, after the other.
Oh.
And
were they rent the house too?
My parents, my parents, my grandma, they called everybody. They even had my Aunt Charlotte's. They brought in every clergyman you can think of. Okay, yeah. We had the rabbi there. We had my mother's boyfriend was Cuban. He showed up with the Catholic priest. Okay?
Oh, wow.
We had everybody. My Aunt Charlotte brought her Lutheran minister.
At least they believed you, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. Did they really believe you, or did they just, what did they do? Did they just come to pacify you? Most of the time, that's why those things fail. People always say, well, the priest came and blessed the house and it didn't work. Well, that's because either what you have there is not evil, or the priest didn't believe it in the first place, and you can't fight what you don't believe in.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem. They do it 9 times out of 10 just to pacify the person. They figure, oh, it's all in their mind. Once I bless the house, they'll feel better, and it will go away, right?
Right, yeah.
And then it doesn't go away, and then the person's like, what do we do now? So, but we went through all that. Nothing helped. Nothing worked. And the rabbi finally said to my mother, he said, what you have here is not some horrendous thing of hell or anything like that. He said, you've got an angry human ghost here. Very angry.
Wow.
And she has resentment. She resents your daughter. She resents any woman of any age, because I was older by then, By the time I was 14, she took me down the stairs for the last time. I got furiously angry. My teenage hormones kicked in, and I faced off with her. And I went and I got my hands on everything I could find to learn everything I could. And I was a dancer, by the way. I was a professional ballerina for many years. And when I was younger, I danced from the time I was young. I had one of the old-fashioned, I don't know how old you guys are. Remember the old cassette tape recorders, the one that was like the size of a shoebox?
Oh,
with the big buttons? You remember those things?
Yeah.
Okay, I had one of those. I used to tape my dance music. I took it to the basement, and I turned it on. And I talked to her, and she talked back to me. And I was like, wow, that was the first EVP of my life. Do you know what I did? I hit that stop button, and I ran upstairs faster than you could say lickety-split. I was out of there. I was like, just the shock, you know what I mean? The shock of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What decade was that? When was that?
1974.
Wow.
I was not ready yet for that.
Oh.
By 1976, I was a pro at it, but in 1974, I was 16 years old.
Oh,
and I was like, seriously? No. This is scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be.
Because, you see, before I had seen her, I'd been attacked by her, I'd heard her, but when I had her on a tape recorder, she became even, what's the word for it? She became undeniably real. Because anything you create in your mind cannot respond to you that way. So that was just like a big validation of everything I already knew. And part of it made me feel even more hopeless, sense of hopelessness. But then part of me was like, wait a minute. No, if I can talk to her, if I can communicate with her, I can win the day. I just got to find out what her problem is. And I'll tell you something. By the time I moved out of that house, I was 19. And she told me on a Ouija board, which I tell everybody not to use because people get in trouble with them.
Oh,
she told me she told me the first and last name of the man I would marry that I hadn't even met yet.
Oh, wow.
I wrote the name down, and when I met him, I almost fell over. So I made friends with her, but it wasn't easy. She was furious. She was angry. She was miserable. She was one of the most miserable people I've ever met, and I understand why. Her life was horrible. Her death was horrible. Her father was horrible. What he did afterwards was horrible. He lied to people about her death.
Yeah.
So she didn't like you because you had a good life.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, there was a lot of reasons why she didn't like me. She had a really hard way to go. This poor woman, her life was one of those whatever can go wrong will.
Right. Yeah.
She was not an attractive woman. In the day that she lived, back in the days, that house was only one story. It was one story and a garage. Not a garage, I'm sorry, a basement. And her father had actually a store there. He used to make wine. And he came from Italy. That's what he did. That was his thing. He had a wine cellar down there. And he had a little store, he sold things from Italy and he sold wine and what have you. But back in those days, women got married very young. If you were 19, 20 years old and you weren't married, you were an old maid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This woman was 25, and she wasn't married. She was not. Yes, she was. I didn't want to say that, but you obviously picked that up.
What? She was a nice girl.
Good personality. No, not
he
even.
Picked, he picked that up right away. She was ugly. I was trying not to say that. See?
Yeah.
But she finally did. Her father found somebody, and then at the last minute, he stood her up at the altar. He didn't show up for the wedding. He ran.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. You ugly.
Be careful, you never know who's listening.
No, that's terrible. She fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down.
Well, she did. Terrible. Why do you think she scared me so bad? I was terrified.
This house is filled with ghosts. I'm not worried about ghosts.
We're in a haunted mansion here.
Yeah.
This place is
Oh, yeah?
crazy.
I go to bed at night. I go to bed at night now. There's
It's busy.
I just crossed over 4 of them, and now there's some new ones here. I'm hearing walking in the attic. I'm hearing talking in the attic.
Right?
I'm just kind of getting to know these ones before I cross them over.
You know what? You know what's funny? You're talking about new ones there. I don't know if you know about this, but I want to see if you do. Okay, I have. I'm a landlord. I have rental places. Okay, I have 3 of them. When a house sits vacant and it sits empty for any length of time, it gets squatters. I'm talking spirit squatters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, you do know about this. Okay.
I agree with that.
So if I have a house that sits for 6 months, I have to cleanse it before I can have anybody move in there.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wait a minute. Why? Why does this happen?
Because I don't know why. I don't know if it's like they come along and go, oh, look, an empty house. Let's move in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
I call them spirit squatters.
Probably just
the house
like
is
when
empty
they were
for a
alive.
while. They just make themselves at home.
When they were a human body, human shit, that's probably the same way they would have been back then. Well,
you got it. You got it. That's what I think. I agree with you.
That they need
I just wanted to see if you ever encountered that.
Yep.
Have you? Yeah, I haven't.
I have. In here I did. This place was vacant for 10 years before I moved in.
Well, oh, God, you probably had a whole commune living there.
So, yeah. Well, this whole land is haunted. I get Native American outside. There was a lot of history.
I don't know if it's haunted, but yeah, it's active.
It's haunted.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, look at the EVPs we got here. And it's,
a lot. And we do get a lot of EVPs.
I went over. I was renovating. I went and I was doing renovation. We have a mobile home. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know if you have them up there. But anyway, I have a mobile home. One of my rentals is a mobile home. And the guy that had lived there really trashed it. I mean, they destroyed it. So we had to do a lot of renovation. So my husband and his father had been working the renovations, and then Sean, who is my tech man on my team, Sean and I went over there. He was going to help me paint. So we're painting, and somebody's taken off with our stuff. And he says to me, all right, that's the 3rd thing I laid down that somebody took, and I can't find it. And this is only a 4-room place. Where did it go? Good question. Then we'd find it in the yard, okay? So he goes to his truck because he's Johnny on the spot prepared, and he comes back with his digital recorder because he's Sean, he always has one. So anyway, he turns it on, right? And we're messing around with them. And I was trying to be nice. And I said, what's your name, blah, blah, blah. And they were being really mean and really nasty. And they asked me for the former tenant. They were like, where's Jimmy? And I'm like, Jimmy went to live with his mom. He's not here anymore. If you're looking for Jimmy, you're in the wrong place. So she cursed at me. She told me to get out of my own house. She was being really nasty. And she had some guy there with her who had like some kind of speech impediment. He was like really weird. Or he was trying to sound really scary. I'm not sure. But it wasn't working.
Right.
So I was being nice because I try to be nice. And I said, I'm going to tell you a joke, blah, blah, blah. So I tell them a joke. They didn't like it. And it was this joke. You probably heard this joke. I told them the joke about the burglar with the parrot and the Rottweiler.
No, tell me. What is it?
You've never heard? It's a very common one. It's about the burglar. He breaks into the house. And there's a voice, and it keeps saying, God is watching you, God is watching you. And he's looking around, he's like, who's talking? Then finally he finds a parrot, okay? And he starts laughing. He goes, oh, phew, that's close. He says, oh, look at you. What's your name? And the parrot says, Moses. And he says, who names their parrot Moses? What an idiot. And the parrot says, the same guy who named his Rottweiler God. Turn around. And then the dog is there, I thought it was funny. They didn't think so. They did not think so. They did not think it was funny. She was mad. She was like, oh, you think you're funny, don't you? And the guy there was going, they're not scared. They're not. He was saying scared. They're not scared. They're not scared. No, we're not scared, and you need to go. But we had to run them out of there. And that's not the first time.
Wow.
Any house that sits empty. Yeah, they left.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah, I mean, I was just, I was living, before I lived here, I was living on one that we were doing a flip on in Arlington Street, and there was an old woman there that was, like, yelling at me as I was ripping the kitchen out.
Didn't like it, huh? Yeah.
And then a young boy, like a in his 20s, and there was another kid there.
Right.
And I've had psychics confirm all this stuff without me saying a thing about it. And so as I was ripping the kitchen out, I kept telling her, I'm like, shut up, it's going to be fine. It's going to be nice when it's done. And then when it was done, she loved it. I mean, at 2 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
But
in the meantime, they have a fit over it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was freaking out when I ripped the kitchen out. I'm like, it looks like shit. It's a mess in there. Oh, sorry. All right.
And you know,
Laurie, we're just
Hello?
about running out of time, so if you could give our listeners your website and...
yeah. Well, my website is down. They're doing maintenance right now, but I'll give it to you. The easiest way to find it, because it's a long, long, long address. Just go to any search like Google, whatever you use, whatever your search engine. Put in the word hostile, like a hostile person, hostile haunts specialist, and I'll be the first one on top of the page. It'll say home, Pinellas Pasco. All you got to do is put in hostile haunts or my name, Laurie Champion, Paranormal, no matter what you put in. I've been around for so long, I'm easy to find.
Yeah. Are you on Facebook?
That's the only good part about being old,
Yeah. Yeah. Are you on Facebook?
Oh, of course. I put up a thing on Facebook telling everybody about the show tonight.
Right, Laurie Champion. Cool. All right, that is perfect. Thank you so much for calling into Everything Paranormal, Laurie Champion. It's been a great time.
Thank you.
So
it's
much.
been a great time. You
All
guys
right,
have a
give
great
it up for
week.
Laurie, huh?
Good job, Laurie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good night. All right, Jeff, what do you think? Well, we had a couple of great guests tonight.
Yeah, a couple of snafus at the beginning, but we got past.
Well, we did. We started late again. We're sorry. We have it all figured out. Quick plug for your website is blog lady's going to shut us off. angelsguide.org. And
that's easy to remember.
Check out Real Ghost Hunting Tours in downtown Salem, Massachusetts. WhitCityGhost.com. I am Mark.
I'm Jeff.
And we'll see you guys next week, and we will have all of our audio technical difficulties all set.
Yeah.
You have a great week. Happy hunting. We'll see you later. Don't you forget to check us out on DTMWickedRadio.com Saturdays 9 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. That's PM. And on Ustream.com. We will see ya. Fucking nightmare. Oh, it wasn't bad. We got him with a cell phone. All right, so next week, I bring mine. We're still going to, which was good. I can do the studio on the computer, so I can see everybody calling in. Yeah. I called in as for my cell phone as a host, but I could see me as a host on this, so I could see everybody calling in, so it's perfect. So I'm going to use the phone next week. I'll bring the phone to talk, and then we just bring him in, just so I can see him on the studio. So we got to figure it out now. You have a long, what's the date today? 10/14. And 14/14. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. All right, because I don't know if that one works, but I know that one does. They had phone ring. That's fine. It's got to work. It's fine. Remember the whole thing we used to use? That's what we're going to use. We don't have to bring the speaker anymore. They're not going to hear an echo. It'll be perfect. Good. So all audio communications will be with the speakerphone that we used to use, the conference phone. And what I'll do is I'll control the whole show on the laptop. It's perfect. I can see everybody in queue. I can see you on the I can see Peter calling in and her calling in. And I bought them into it. Good. So it's weird. I connected with the cell phone. That's like our main connection, but I can bring them all in the computer. So we want to about that. That's the way to do it. So we're not going to use the mic. I'll put the mic on the table and stand like it will look like we're using it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it won't be. We'll just look good. Oh, man.
What the fuck is this? Yeah, I talk too much.
Yeah. Oh, first, you do it down like one. Second one, you listen.
Wait.
If you have a speakerphone, we're more fucking dominated.
This lady just asked me a friend request. I look at it. Look at her first fucking post. It's a fucking riot. Look at it. Why do I find these people?
All right. I hope we get it fucking straight next week. Because getting fucking.
Well, we the phone, but fine.
Yeah. Peter's coming too. So if you just get the shit downstairs next week, it's gonna be like. You just get it down here and I'll set it up. Yeah. It'll be so much easier. I'll just show up fucking 7:15 and set it up.
A little earlier.
I'm trying to, but I have to shower and make sure everybody was fed. She didn't go to the so I thought she didn't go at all. Never go. Yeah. That's your so that's good. So yeah. Oh yeah. But this is children. Chill that guy. No, she misses me. No, she misses me. She misses me. Might be.